Alright, so this is another Backroom deck tech at Dragon Master Games here. We got Big Flying Lands today we'll be talking about. This is a deck I built basically around Sylvan Advocate because I just really liked that card when it came out. So let's get down to it. Alright, so creature base. We got 4 Den Protectors. Pretty much anyone who plays green will play Den Protectors. It's just really good. It gets a card back from the graveyard. It's pretty valid. Generally, it just helps you get, in this deck, gets counter spells. It's a little bit of a controller deck. Get counter spells back, give you a little bit of an early threat. The card the deck is built around, Sylvan Advocate. Vigilance, as long as you control 6 or more lands, it gets 2/2, and land creatures get +2/+2. Just phenomenal all around. Late game 4/5. There's other creatures, as you'll see. It pairs very well with Wall of Resurgence here. This is another staple in this deck. Wall of Resurgence 0/6. Comes in, you get 3/1/1 counters on a land. The only downside is it makes your land vulnerable to kill spells, but having a 5/5 is usually a problem by the time this deck plays out. This deck definitely goes a little bit longer game, so we have Reflector Mages, another fantastic card that came out. When Reflector Mage enters the battlefield, target creature your opponent controls gets returned to its hand, and they can't cast that creature again. It's just fantastic. It slows them right down. You are a little bit, like I said, a little bit more of a grindy deck, so it takes you some time to get set up. So Reflector Mage helps you with that. And then we have Tidecaller. Main board, I was thinking about going Awakening just because it gets your lands out. I end up not doing that. The only thing it can hit main board would be Scatter to the Winds. But just making your lands flying, having 5/5 flying creatures is just a problem for pretty much anybody you play against. If it comes down to it and you get 1 or 2 land creatures out, you pretty much win the game with Tidecaller. So this is the creature base. It's 19 creatures. It's not terribly heavy. It's a little more heavier than most people think for a control deck, but it plays out relatively well. For the spells, early, we want to keep our opponents off the board, so we have Horribly Awry. Exile and counters creatures, keeps them off the board, take time to set up. We have Scatter to the Winds, another counter spell. You can target it with Tidecaller and get it back. It's just another hard counter, getting stuff off the board. We have Void Shatter, another Exile, which is great against Rally, keeping stuff off the board just so you can set up. Like I said, you just keep countering. Collected Company, fantastic card in this deck. Hits every creature you play. The fact that you can hit a Wall of Resurgence with this and just, Collected Company, hit 1 wall, get 3 power, 9 toughness, get a creature out, hopefully get a Sylvan Advocate, just go to town at that point. And then we got Ojutai's Commands, more counters, draw some card if you need to, try to stay alive, gain some life. Generally it's just counter, draw, it's the most valuable one. And then Dig Through Time for late game, go get your answers, go get your Sylvan Advocate, keep yourself alive, and you should be winning at that point. You've countered everything they've played, you play a bunch of creatures, you get some 5/5 lands, and you do too much work. It's too good at that point. Alright, the mana base. We have 1 Plains, because white is the splash in this deck. It's there, but it's not solid. Forest, not bad. You need them for Collected Companies. You need them for pretty much just collecteds, honestly. I mean, you need green for a couple other, like Den Protector and stuff, but most of the time you're going to be winning by then. 4 islands. We are playing counter spells, so you'll definitely want to see islands early on. We got dual lands here, Canopy Vista replacing, getting some white in, getting some more green to fill the spaces. And we have 4 Prairie Streams. Obviously, like I said, that's where you're going to get most of your white right there. You want blue all the time for the counter spells. It's just really good. We have Lumbering Falls. This is another creature card that's going to win you the game. Sylvan Advocate stacks. You're going to end up having a 5/5 or a 7/7 hexproof that could potentially be flying, and you're just going to run people over. It's a pretty fantastic card. Activating it on the opponent's turn and having a 5/5 or a 7/7 blocker that's hexproof is pretty phenomenal. They can't kill it. It is a little steeper on the mana cost, but it's worth it. The hexproof makes it much so good. And then we have 2 sets of fetch lands that are in our colors. Obviously, Flooded Stream and Flooded Strand and Windsweep Heath. Just get your colors, whatever you need. Generally fetching blue just because. Obviously fetching green or white with Canopy Vista, only 1 of, but you're generally only going to need 1 color of those by the time you win. Collected Company into some walls, into some more Den Protectors. It's just too good. I've played this deck a bunch of times at our Friday Night Magic. It worked really well. The only deck you really have trouble with is red-blue prowess just because it's so fast. Sideboard, I use Pulse of Marissa just to gain life against it. Obviously, you're going to have to tailor your sideboard due to the meta you're playing at, but the deck is grindy, but it wins turns 5 or 6. You're locked down, and you're just waiting to beat them down with creatures at that point. Big lands, big flying lands, just slapping people, and you're countering everything they're doing. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.